Hi, Aaron,
And that was your question.
and I have one question, and that is how to be a strong leader.
How to be a strong leader. And Brave's question, similar, was how to be a good leader. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aaron. I'm going to answer that. You stay here until I finish this answer. The question, the mic is only going into the video. So, right? The question was how to be a good leader or how to be a strong leader. Okay? And my answer to that is that you have to lead by example, right? If you want people to follow you, then you have to be clear where you are going. Make sure you don't touch the mic because it will be loud. Right? So don't play with it. If you want people to follow you, you must know where you are going. Doesn't that make sense? If we're going through the mountains or through the woods or for a walk, if you want someone to follow you, you have to know where you are going. You have to be confident that you know where you're going, and you need to be able to explain it to them. Not just where you're going, but why you're going there. Does that make sense? You also have to be willing to lose, right? And I want to explain what that means. Because someone asked a little bit of a question like that. But if you're a leader, you have a very big goal, right? Maybe your big goal is to win a championship or to build an apartment or to start a school, raise a family. Those could be your goals. You are definitely going to have some problems when you do that. Definitely. Sometimes things won't work. Sometimes there will be a small problem in your life. You'll make a mistake. If you quit because of that, or you let that distract you and you get angry and upset, then you will never get to the big goal, right? It's really, really important that you are very, very clear about what your big goal is, right? Like, why are we doing this? And then when people on your team also make mistakes, that can also be okay because as long as we're moving towards the big goal. I know we have a football player back there, and I can imagine that if you were the manager of a big team, your goal would be to win the World Cup or win the Premier League, right? Win the league championship. Is that right? Correct. But to win the championship, you might lose a game during the year. You definitely might miss a shot during the year, right? These things are going to happen. And if you let that make you feel like you're a loser, you make your team feel like you're a loser, that you can't recover, then you can't be a good leader there, right? You've got to keep going. All right. Thank you, Aaron. What do you say? Anything? Any questions? Speak to the mic.
No more questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You will pass this off to Alana and Jaya. Alana and Jaya. Either of you can come on up. Come on, Alana, your camera ready. Thank you, Aaron. All right. This is Alana, correct? We know each other. All right. I'm going to read Jaya's question, and then I'll let you read your question because I thought that they fit. Jaya's question was, how did you get the idea to start a school community? And your question is?
How do you manage to talk in public without
Oh, no, actually, isn't that yours?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How do you come up with such good ideas to make the school better?
Okay, I see you have multiple questions, but I'll let someone else do that one, okay? How do you get the idea to start a school, and how do you come up with good ideas to make the school better? Well, good question. I come up with good ideas because I listen to people, right? That's number one. If you were to open up my YouTube channel, like my personal YouTube channel, the stuff I watch, or my TikTok feed, or my Instagram page, or anything, you would see that most of the videos that pop through are about school. And you might think that's boring to you, but for me, that's really exciting. All of the things that I'm very interested in are about learning to make it better. For fun, I sit around and listen to other people who have schools or other teachers or other cool ideas that you can do. I watch things I like. I watch things that I don't like. I hear people complain. I hear people say stuff is cool, always so that I can try to do something better. And also, it's not just schools that I look for. If I go to a cool restaurant, I look at the way they set up their tables or the way they do their bathrooms or the way they decorate their walls and see if I can use one of those ideas, right? Because you can find really cool ideas in other places. If you are always looking, you can really have good ideas. How did I get the idea to start the school? Well, I was working in schools a lot, and I worked in them in different parts of the world. South Korea, you ever heard of that? I lived there and I was a school teacher. Vietnam, you ever heard of that? I lived there and I was a school teacher. Tanzania, another country in East Africa, correct. I lived there and I was a school teacher. Before that, I was in the United States, in the state of Georgia. And I had seen lots of really different types of schools, different types of classrooms, different types of communities and learners. And when I came to this area, I noticed that nothing like this was here. And I was like kind of surprised. You know, the thing is, you don't have to invent everything. You can just notice that something you've seen that works isn't where you are, right? And you think you can make it work there. So a lot of you have traveled to different parts of the world. You've lived in different places. You went to different types of schools. You lived in different types of homes. You ate at different types of restaurants. And then you're here, and in your head you might say, well, back where I lived, they had this, or this store should do that, or this restaurant should do that. But like, guess what? You could do that, right? Like, I'll give you a cool example. There was I think a really cool invention that came out a few years ago, and it was Lego tape. Has anyone ever seen that? So basically, it's like a roll of tape, and you can put it on your wall in any way, and it's like a Lego board. So you could put Legos on it, right? It's kind of cool, so that you could put that tape on your wall in any shape you want, and then you could put Legos on it and kind of have your build come off the wall. Does that make sense? What did the person invent? They did not invent Legos. She said Legos. They did not invent Legos. That was the person who made Lego tape did not invent Legos. What did they invent tape? They did not invent tape. That's right. She said they yes, let's hear. They didn't even do the decoration. This is what happened. They saw Lego. Everybody's seen Lego. They saw tape. Everyone's seen tape. And they said, why isn't there any Lego tape? Basically, right? They put two ideas together, and now they have a multi-million-dollar company, and they didn't invent anything. They just noticed that something was missing. So I think that's what I was looking for when I started ISLA, was to see what was missing here. And one of the things I noticed mostly when I got here was that a lot of families moved to the Dominican Republic, some of yours, and their parents, they went surfing and they went to the beach and they went outside and they were loving living here because of all the nature. And then I would talk to their kids, and their kids spent all their day inside in a room staring at walls. They never went outside. They were kind of doing the same thing they were doing back in their other place. And I thought, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you love the DR and you want to be out in it, you want to be in the Caribbean, do that. Is that fair? Okay. Thank you, Alana. Thank you. All right. Next, I have Alana also had a great question there, but I'm going to call up the other person that was similar, was Amelia. Who is Amelia? Is that you? Oh, come on up, Amelia. All right, you have a mic here. Make sure you speak into it. Okay, so Alana's question, I'll read it, and then I'll let you read your question. I have it here, okay? Alana's question was, how do you manage to talk in public without your voice cracking? Good question. And number 3, your question?
How to be a more confident leader.
How to be a more confident. Make sure you speak into the mic. What was it?
How to be a more confident leader.
Right, okay. I thought those two were similar. How to speak without cracking and how to be more confident. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. Well, I get very nervous, Alana. I do get very nervous. Do you know why people get nervous? Because they care about what happens. If you really care about what's going to happen, if you really care if you win this game, or if you really care if you give a good speech, if you really care if you do well on some assignment, then you're probably going to be nervous, right? That's how it works. So it's a good thing to be nervous. It is a good thing to be nervous. You don't want to be too nervous, right? So nervous that you're shaking and that you can't perform. But to be a little nervous, you actually want to be a little nervous. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, if you are a lot nervous, for me, that usually means that you don't feel prepared. You do not feel ready. If you have to give a speech, but you don't know what you're going to say, you are probably very, very nervous. And if you have to play a championship game, but you are sure you're going to lose because the team is way better than you and you haven't practiced, you're probably very nervous, right? So I spend a lot of time preparing, is what I do. And sometimes I prepare for things that never happen. I prepare for a problem that never comes, right? Like I have to be ready in case something really bad happens. And then hopefully it doesn't happen. But I have to make sure I'm ready for that. So I get confidence because I know that I'm ready. For the most part, I know no matter what happens, I'm ready. And the other thing I'll say about that is that I'll tell you a secret a little bit. So in some of my first opportunities to be a leader, I got to be in these meetings with other leaders, right? So I was a young person. I was sitting in a room with like people who were CEOs or board of directors. They owned big schools. Like I was like very nervous before I walked in there because I thought like, ooh, I'm about to meet like the real smart people. I'm about to meet like the really I'm gonna look dumb in there is what I kind of thought like. And I got into the room and I realized that was not true. That they were just normal people. Like they had things they didn't know how to do. They had questions. And I also learned that the people that usually do the best are the people that are not afraid to say that they don't know. So like in that room, I'm sitting in this room with like these very important, very successful people. And they were like openly saying, I don't know how to do this. We need to find somebody who can help us. I don't know what that is. I need someone to explain it. They were not scared of doing that. So I was the one that was scared to like walk into the room and be a person who knew everything. But I didn't need to know everything. So I'm confident in knowing if I don't know the answer, I can find the answer. Do you feel that way? Like if I asked you a question about a city in your home country, and I know you're from 2 countries, right? You might not know the answer to it, right? You might not know exactly. Like if I said, what is the population of, right? And I named a city. You probably wouldn't know like exactly the answer. Would you know how to find the answer? If I asked you, what is the population of Munich? Or what is the population of Ontario? Could you find the answer? You could, right? Do you feel confident in that? Does anyone feel confident that they could find the answer to those questions? Like what would you do if I said, Brave, what is the population of Munich? You would do what? Say it again. What would you do?
Search it up.
You'd search it up, right? What would you search?
How many people live in Ontario?
How many people live in Ontario or how many people live in Munich? And there would be an answer, right?
Yeah.
Right. Would you know if the answer looks correct or not? Do you feel confident that if you saw the answer, you could trust it? You do. Does Brave need to know every answer? No. He only needs to know how to find it. I'm going to ask you another question. I want you to go to somebody here. Most of you have a passport, right?
Yeah.
Right? Pretty important document, right? Do you know your passport number? What? Prince, wait a minute. You don't know your passport number?
No.
And you don't know your very important passport number?
No.
But you need it, right?
Yeah.
So, are you scared?
No.
Why not?
Because I can get my passport.
Do you know where your passport is?
Yeah.
You do? Do you know where your passport is? You do? And I bet even if you don't know where your passport is, you know who knows where your passport is, right? So you're not scared because you don't know the answer, but you know that you can find it. Does that make sense? So if you want to be confident, you do not have to know all the answers, but you do need to know where to find the answers. And then you can just tell somebody, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I don't know the answer to that. But give me a minute and I can find out, right? I can find out the population of Munich. I can find out my passport number. I mean, I can even find your passport number. Did you know that? I have it somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I have it in your registration. Your parents gave it to me when you registered. But I don't know any of your passport numbers. I don't even know my own son's passport number. Not by heart, but I know where it is. I know how to find it, right? Does that make sense? So can you feel confident with that? Do you feel confident about your passport number? Of course you do, right? So I feel confident about most things too. Not because I know the answer, but because I think I can find it. All right. Thank you very much. Next, let's call my man Prince up. All right, Prince, your question was, read it out loud into the microphone.
How does it feel to lead the school?
How does it feel to lead the school? Sometimes it feels amazing, right? Sometimes it feels very stressful, right? Sometimes I'm very tired, and sometimes I'm very proud, right? I'm looking for my goal for leading the school is to always feel good. Actually, if you say, what's your goal? Is it to have this or to do that or to build this or to make this much money? I really don't care about any of that. I just want to feel always relaxed and confident. That's what I want to feel. Most times I do, but sometimes I don't, because sometimes I try some new idea and it doesn't really work. Or sometimes I want to solve a problem and I'm like stuck. I feel a little like when you're trying to do a project or come up with an idea for maybe your essay or something and you don't know what to do. I get stuck like that all the time. But generally it feels really cool. Presentation day feels amazing. Graduation feels amazing. The first day of school feels amazing, right? But then if a toilet breaks or someone gets hurt, I feel, right? If a student moves away, I feel something there too. I feel a lot. That's a good question. Thank you, Prince. Anything else?
No.
Thank you, Prince. And one more. This is Livy. Is this you? Leary, sorry. Oh, well, there she is. All right, Leary. Leary, yours and Michael's are together.
I have my question. I remember my question. I didn't describe this very well, like I
Okay.
want to tell. Let's just say there that you screwed up on something. How does it feel? How does it feel? Is it
If I
feel
mess
like,
up,
is it feel like you're gonna fix it? If it feel like you're making a plan in your head, what are you gonna do?
great question. The question is, how does it feel when you mess up? And like, how does that really feel when you mess up? Because as a leader, if I mess up, sometimes.
And also, I would
Yep.
like to say, like
Okay.
some other big leader tell you that you doesn't gonna make it, or they doesn't believe you, the other leaders, or
Oh,
like
that's a
this.
great. I want to answer that one second.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to tell you first how it feels to mess up, and then her other question about what if other leaders say something to you, right? Okay. Number one, and Michael asked the question, how not to mess up, right? How does it feel when you mess up? The thing is, I make like hundreds of decisions a day. Some of them are big decisions and some of them are little decisions, but I make a lot of decisions. And my decision might actually really help you or might help Miss Glory and still make someone not happy.
No, but let's just say you doing a speech in front of the teacher, the school, or some other people.
Yeah.
Let's just say parents.
Be close to it, yeah, like that.
Let's just say like parents or something like this that want to sign for the school, and then you screwed up at something.
Like I
and-
miss my words, I forget, or something
yeah,
like
or say something you shouldn't supposed
yeah.
to say, and then you feel like, oh, they probably don't gonna sign for the school.
Good one. Maybe I meet a new family and I'm talking all about ISLA and then I make a big mistake, say something wrong or describe something wrong. That's definitely happened. That has definitely happened before. Well, I try to be cool, number one. So I try to basically laugh at it.
Laugh at it.
Oh, oops, I made a mistake. My bad. 1 second.
Yeah.
I try to make it feel comfortable because sometimes if you make a mistake and you get real serious about it, you get all scared looking.
I need to do this
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this to bring him back.
Then the other person gets nervous.
Too much.
I try to like, oops, my bad. I didn't mean that, right? I keep it cool. But also I recognize like sometimes if I mess up and I really mess up and there's nothing I can do about it in the
Just
moment,
move on.
I move on, but then I try to get better from that. What's kind of weird is that there were a few things that happened to me with this school and in my life where I thought, oh no, that was the worst thing that ever happened. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe whatever. And then now that I look at it, I'm so happy that that happened because I learned how to fix something and to prevent that.
and do like someone else that the other time that don't gonna go.
I mean, that's really the only way you can actually learn is to mess up. Like, you can't be perfect. ISLA, this is 10 years here, and our other campus is 7 years. So 17 years. And I have made a lot of mistakes. And sometimes at one campus, my idea works, and the other campus, it doesn't work. And so then I learn. I can learn from both of those. Oh, we should try, or I need to explain better, or I need to fix something. I think that's the best thing I can say is that when I was in the beginning and I was making a lot of mistakes, I tried to make sure that people were comfortable and knew that, hey, I'm learning and I'm growing. And then two, once I got to a place that we're a little bit more organized, I pay attention. And other things that are important, like if I'm going to speak in front of a large group, I write my important points down, even if I don't read it.
One time I go to a stand up,
Mhm.
and there's like an they called from a few people from the audience.
Mhm.
They called me also, and then I saw that she has like the big points.
Oh, yeah, the
with
bottom?
in
Yeah.
the bottom, and then
That gives you confidence.
yeah,
Even if you
that's-
don't look at the notes, they're there, right? If you forget, you can look down. You don't want to really look, actually. You don't want to look, but you can. All right?
Okay.
So that's a really good one. The other question I think is really important because Leary, correct? She asked, like, what if other leaders laugh at you? This is something I want you all to understand. Other leaders don't laugh at you.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think that sometimes there's tons of schools movies that there's some big leader or a popular girl that laugh at you, and she's basically always mean. And basically, in the real world, when people are popular, they always nice.
Well,
They're nice.
that's true, but also think about this. If your dream is to be
Director.
a director and you meet another director and you say,
No, but
this is my dream, they're not going to laugh at you. They're going to say, that's awesome. Right? And if your dream is to be a football player and you meet a professional football player and you say, it's my dream, they're not going to say, ha ha ha, you're not as good as me. They're going to say, that's awesome. If you meet a podcaster and you want to be a podcaster, they're going to tell you it's cool that you started. The only people that will make you feel bad about your path to getting good at something are people that are not good at it, right? If someone is already good at it, they know what it took. They knew that you had to make mistakes. You had to mess up.
but not like laugh at you and say, "Ho, you can't do it like me
Yeah.
because I'm the big muscular man that's successful and everything." Like the audience in a crowd of people do like, or it's make you feel like uncomfortable,
Yeah.
less comfortable, and
Well, if you want to know who I mostly pay attention to about whether ISLA is working and it is successful, is I pay attention to you. If I notice that the kids have a good time, if I see people smiling and laughing, then I feel like it's working. And yes, maybe some people outside of here might think the way we do things are different, but as long as we love coming here, I'm happy. Thank you very much, Leary. And there's one more question, right? I think. No, I think that was it. I think that is everybody. I was able to call
I have
Prince
a
up.
question.
Okay, you
Mr.
have a
Sean.
question.
Yes.
Off script.
And my question is because we are building a project and we're learning about also student council. What do you think it's a good student council for you,
Okay.
for the school?
I think that there are two things that are super important if you're looking to pick someone for student council. Number one, someone that you absolutely trust, to be honest. That's number one. Do you believe that if You tell them something, or if they say something, that it's true. Because you need your student council to also tell you if something's not working, right? That's number one. Do you trust them? That's way more important than being the smartest or the fastest. It's to be your trust. And then number two, the other thing I would really look for is organization. Because there are a lot of you, and there are a lot of ideas, and there are a lot of things that you want to get done. And when you share your ideas with your student council, then they have to try to figure out how to solve those, and they need to speak to people, they need to write things down, they need to remember things. I would look for really honest people with good integrity. That's one of your learner characteristics. High integrity, high organization, and probably also another learner characteristic would be dependability, right? Can you count on them? Will they show up and come? Those are the three things I would look for.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions, you guys?
Well, we just did a podcast, guys. We did one. That concludes our podcast. You are all in the audience. We do have a question here from our
Has a question?
anomaly.
Anomaly.
How old am I? Say it again.
How old are you?
I am 44 years old.
When
Yeah.
did you start?
Yes, go ahead, Yako.
When did you start the school?
10 years ago,
10 years ago?
2015. I moved to the country to do this, but I worked on another project for the first 2 years. So I don't really want to say that I was starting this then, but I was here from 2013 to build ISLA. But 2015 is the first time that someone walked into these doors. Yes.
Were there any people or places or like groups of people who were like a really good help to you?
Big help to me? Absolutely. People like Miss Glory was a big help to me. Glory, Rebecca and Rachel, some of these teachers, Francisco, some of these people have been here for years, 8, 9, 10 years, helping me. They helped me when this wasn't this big. They helped me when things weren't working very well, right? And they helped me build it and grow, and they let me lead. So they were super helpful. Also, I would shout out the man that invited me to come to the Dominican Republic, and he was the first person who trusted me to lead a school. His name was Dr. Gabriel Maldonado, and he is a school leader at a great school in Costa Rica, okay? And I learned so much about everything, about running schools, about leadership, about living in the Dominican Republic. I mean, many, many things from him. And I don't think I could have done this without his help. Another couple of people that were here from the very beginning that I should shout out is a woman named Miss Ariani. Some of you will know Miss Ariani. You were here for a long time. Miss Ariani is the cousin of Mabel, who is now in the office. And Miss Ariani was the first person, one of the first people that we ever hired here. And she was young. She was only 18 years old when we hired her, and she was incredibly helpful. There was a woman named Miss Paula. She was one of the first teachers that we brought here. And Miss Paula had tons of ideas, tons of positive spirit, was willing to work long hours as we figured out how things worked, and just made sure everybody that was here, all the kids, felt loved. And then Mr. Franco, you know Mr. Franco, back there. Mr. Franco was one of our first teachers, and he helped me come up with the idea for how we do our units of investigation. I mean, that was a really big idea. So he helped me build some of those things. It was really important. And Brave's mom also, who doesn't work here anymore, but she was very important in the early years in helping like organize so many things in the office, the way this place looks. There were just tons and tons of people. I mean, there is no way to build a school by yourself. No way. I mean, if you did, it would be really small and not as great, right? So if you're going to do something, you have to really not only like be open for help, but you have to ask for help, and hopefully be a person that people are willing to help, you know? So I'm very lucky with that. Yeah. Any other questions?
Last question.
Yeah.
When did you start the school in Las Terrenas?
I started this, great question. I started the school in Las Terrenas in 2019. Okay. That's right. 2019, August, technically. And you know, because you were a student at the other campus as well, I got the keys to that building, that property. Okay. There was no fence around it, nothing. I got those keys on August 1st. Okay. And on September 2nd, 1 month later, we started our first day of school. So in 1 month, and I slept on the floor in the office for a couple of nights and upstairs in that room. I remember the first night I swept the floor, cleaned up a little space, put an air mattress and slept in there. And then the next day started cleaning again. It was crazy what we were able to do there. And there were a few people that were really important in helping build that. There was a guy named Jake Bader. You know, if this video ever goes out, I think it's important to mention him. He was the very first campus coordinator before Miss Laura. And you know who else was there from the very beginning? Miss Dio. You know Miss Dio. Miss Dio, incredible in terms of like making that space, not only make it beautiful, but make it feel creative, you know? Okay. Any other questions, Miss Glory? I love them. I love them.
Okay. Okay. Miss Jalila has a question
And what's your
for
name?
you.
Jalina?
Say your name.
Oh,
My
yeah.
name is Jalila.
Hey, Jalila.
And what country you
Oh, what country do I like?
the most?
Oh, well, I think this country I like the most because I live here and, you know, I get to have my dream here, raise my family here. But I love traveling. I mean, I really do love traveling. And every time I go to a new place, it's very exciting. I love going to a place that I thought I knew something about, and then I get there and realize I hardly knew anything, and I learn new stuff about it. I really like the feeling of not knowing things, you know, like when you walk into a new place and you don't know how to speak the language or you don't know where to find things. To me, that's exciting. It makes me feel young, I guess.
I think we're going to wrap it up right there.
All
Say
right.
thank you to Mr. Sean.
Thank you guys very much.
A great way for us to end up our week and wrap everything we've learned about leadership, about doing a podcast, about answering questions, interviews. So thank you so much for
Thank you guys.
coming
Thank you guys.
and being our first guest
All right.
in our unit community live.
Hey, that